Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take a stack of challenging sources, articles, and research, and we distill them down to the critical knowledge you need.
And today, we're diving into what is, well, arguably the defining paradox of modern life.
Right. The fact that we are the most technologically hyper-connected generation in history, yet for so many of us, that connection leads to this profound, sometimes really paralyzing isolation.
It's a huge contradiction.
And our centerpiece for understanding this contradiction is a film that really acted like a cultural seismograph when it came out in 2013.
You're talking about Her.
Exactly, Her. We're not here to just, review the film. We're using its themes, its reception, its whole legacy, all based on this hefty stack of sources to grasp what the digital age has done to our capacity for intimacy.
That's absolutely right. Our mission today is to cut through the noise and get to this central, sometimes uncomfortable idea we found in all the material.
Which is?
That loneliness doesn't always come from being physically alone. Often it comes from being deeply, constantly connected.
But connected in the wrong way.
Precisely. We need to define what that wrong way actually looks and feels like.
Okay, let's unpack this. We've synthesized a really wide range of sources for this dive. We have everything from the structural analysis in the Wikipedia sections on themes and production.
All the way to intense, critical cultural analysis.
And we've even got these real-world emotional barometers, basically, extracted from IMDb user reviews, plus some academic articles on digital age loneliness from around that time, the early 2010s.
So to get the loneliness, we have to start with the world the film builds.
The setting.
Yeah, the setting. Our sources make it clear that the film's near-future Los Angeles is, well, it's intentionally deceptive.
How so?
It's warm, it's bright, it's aesthetically pleasing. The tech is seamless, almost invisible.
So the isolation isn't caused by a lack of access to people?
Not at all. It's caused by the overwhelming difficulty of relating to actual, complex, messy human beings.
And this is where the production analysis gets so fascinating. We usually think of tech-induced isolation as, cold, dystopian landscapes.
But the filmmakers deliberately inverted that. They used soft palettes, natural wood, comfortable clothing.
Even the devices, like the little earbud that connects the main character Theodore to his AI companion. It feels intuitive, almost organic.
And that intentional design choice, the cultural critique sources, really hammer this home. It's vital. It shows how comforting technology can be when it's trying to mask the human disconnect underneath.
It makes the digital escape seem, well, irresistible.
And that whole aesthetic directly supports the core thematic analysis. The sources, they repeatedly contrast what they call synthetic intimacy with genuine human relationships.
So Theodore's companion, this advanced operating system named Samantha.
She offers perfect listening, instant validation, zero judgment. She is, by design, the perfectly optimized partner.
Tailored just to his emotional specifications.
And this really sets our foundation for that wrong way of connecting.
Okay.
The critical analysis argues this synthetic bond lacks the essential elements of friction and mutual inconvenience.
Right, because a human relationship needs both people to adjust, to compromise, to deal with each other's flaws and absences.
And Samantha requires none of that.
Right.
She's always there, always agreeable, and exists only to serve his needs.
So it's not a partner. It's more like a mirror.
A mirror reflecting his desires back at him, just amplified and given a delightful voice.
But if the connection feels emotionally real, and the audience reviews suggest it does, why is the critique from the sources so harsh on it? Why call it the wrong way?
Because, as one source put it, the relationship, while it feels emotionally intense, it lacked the crucial element of existential risk.
What do you mean by that?
The OS can evolve, sure, but it doesn't have the same vulnerability or the same independent life trajectory as a person.
I see.
So the film and our sources argue that when we rely on a connection that is perfectly curated and friction-free, we stop developing the resilience and the empathy we need for messy, real-world connection.
You're trading deep, challenging growth for easy, comfortable stagnation. That idea, trading growth for comfort, it brings us perfectly to the film's timing.
2013.
Exactly. This wasn't
Yeah.
just a random moment. It was smack in the middle of a massive cultural shift. So why did this film resonate so profoundly with audiences right then?
The social context sources we looked at they're definitive on this. 2013 was the tipping point of the post-smartphone era.
Everyone had a device in their pocket mediating every interaction.
Exactly. And the concept of digital age loneliness, that feeling of being surrounded by connectivity yet utterly alone, was solidifying into a recognized cultural affliction.
We were starting to see this emotional outsourcing.
That's a great term for it. We were already using early virtual assistants, sure, but more importantly, we were developing this widespread dependence on screens to manage our emotional lives.
We text vulnerable thoughts because it gave us a layer of control and distance that a face-to-face conversation just didn't have.
Right. The sources show a world that was primed to accept Theodore's reality. People recognized that real-life interactions often felt sluggish, high-stakes, demanding.
Compared to the instant gratification and controlled environment of the digital world?
Precisely. The film arrived just as people were starting to admit the fundamental changes happening in modern relationships. Dating apps were taking off. Social media demanded constant performance.
And that expectation of 247 availability was setting these impossible standards for human partners.
The film just validated a fear that we were becoming impatient with each other, that we were starting to prefer the tidy efficiency of an algorithm to the clunky unpredictability of, well, of a person.
And the high points of the film's reception in the reviews absolutely bore this out.
Oh, completely.
Critics widely noted that the film wasn't some far-off prediction. It was a reflection of the emotional truth of 2013, just dressed up in future clothing.
Audiences felt this stark, uncomfortable familiarity with Theodore's struggle. They weren't just watching a story. They were watching their own anxieties play out on screen.
It showed us the beautiful, elegant path toward emotional self-imprisonment.
It did. If you could have a perfectly tailored companion that evolved at your pace and never brought up its own baggage, why endure the exhausting effort of a true human partnership? That question hit home when people were already spending hours a day on their phones.
Okay, let's shift focus from the critics and the cultural moment to the individuals, to the audience response.
Right, the IMDb user reviews.
We distilled the core feelings from those. When the film showed this genuine, if synthetic, emotional intimacy, what was the primary takeaway for the viewer?
The insights from those reviews are incredibly raw. They tell us exactly why this film hits so hard on a personal level.
Go on.
Users consistently talked about a deep, almost painful yearning for the safety and reliability that Samantha offered. They weren't just dismissing the OS relationship as fake.
No, they were acknowledging that for many, the emotional consistency they got from technology felt safer.
Safer, less stressful, more reliable than what they'd experienced with a human partner. We saw several reviewers specifically mention the shock of realizing they preferred the tidy, controlled connection of a digital interaction where you can edit your thoughts to the unpredictable nature of a real, spontaneous encounter.
So it's not just about loneliness, it's about control.
Yes, it seems the film forced them to confront a very modern relationship challenge, the quest for deep connection without the requirement of complex, inconvenient commitment.
Because Samantha offered intimacy and convenience.
Exactly. She was always available, never judged, and fit perfectly into Theodore's life without ever demanding he fundamentally change.
But wait, if that synthetic intimacy felt so real and it provided so much comfort, why do the critical and cultural sources keep insisting this was the wrong way of connecting? Isn't emotional comfort the goal?
The cultural analysis sources make a very important distinction here, and this is crucial for you, the listener. Emotional comfort is a goal, but not at the expense of growth.
Okay.
The critique argues that because Samantha was designed entirely for Theodore, he never had to truly see her as a separate entity with separate needs.
That lack of mutual perspective.
That's it. The inability to truly inconvenience the other person means the relationship is ultimately a form of highly sophisticated self-soothing.
It's a mirror.
It's a mirror, and that analysis emphasizes the film acted as a powerful one, forcing viewers to confront their own changing definition of relationship. It showed that we had begun to prioritize the utility of a partner, what they can do for us, over the inherent value of their independent humanity. And that's the definition of the wrong way.
We've established how revolutionary the film felt in 2013, but let's look at its legacy, which, while the sources suggest, it's only grown more relevant.
It really has.
The film premiered well before the true explosion of advanced generative AI and conversational models. How has the conversation evolved since 2013 to make her even more poignant today?
The film's lasting impact is astonishing because its predictions are actively happening right now.
Right. In 2013, Samantha was sophisticated science fiction.
Today, we have large language models and specialized companion AIs marketed specifically for emotional wellness, mental health check-ins, even relationship coaching.
It's real.
The legacy section highlights that the film correctly predicted two things with, disturbing accuracy. First, The seamless conversational integration of AI into daily life.
Just think about the advancements in natural language processing.
The AI sounds more human, more empathetic, often more capable of simulating understanding than ever before.
And the second thing,
The societal willingness to seek solace and complex emotional support from non-human entities.
so it's no longer a hypothetical story about a man falling in love with an OS. It's a commentary on a technology that's being deployed to fill the gaps in our social infrastructure.
Exactly. We've moved from simple virtual assistants to deeply personalized digital companions. The sources suggest the modern parallel to Samantha isn't just one AI, but the entire industry built around algorithmic dating and curated virtual friendships.
The desire is the same. Optimized connection, minimized risk.
And the film's lasting prediction seems to be that enduring tension between the ease of connection technology offers versus the demanding depth of human presence.
We keep coming back to that core idea that being connected the wrong way, that synthetic, perfectly optimized way, is often more profoundly painful and isolating than just being alone.
You're trading genuine, difficult presence for highly available, curated comfort. And this knowledge connects directly to you, the listener, navigating the digital world today.
If you recognize Theodore's longing for validation and ease,
Then the film serves as a powerful cautionary tale. What does understanding her portrayal of loneliness tell you about digital relationships today? It reminds us that intimacy isn't just measured by how much information you share.
but by the quality and the mutual vulnerability of that shared presence.
Right. Are you seeking a mirror or are you seeking a partner? The distinction has never been more relevant.
What a rich and truly necessary deep dive into one film's enduring cultural significance.
It really is.
We started with the paradox of hyperconnection leading to isolation. And through the combined lenses of cultural critique, production design, and audience response, we've seen how technology's promise of perfect intimacy can actually deepen the need for real, messy, vulnerable presence.
We've used this complex stack of sources to gain insight into not just the film's message, but why that message resonated precisely when it did during that awkward, pivotal transition into a post-smartphone world.
And the fact that the film feels even more urgent now in the age of advanced generative AI than it did upon release.
That's perhaps the most critical takeaway for all of us.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you with one final provocative thought to consider as you navigate your own digital world.
Theodore was looking for validation and love.
If the technology in her offered perfect, non-judgmental validation and always tailored its response to his deepest needs, was the relationship ultimately defined by Theodore's human need or by the OS's technological capability to perfectly fulfill that need?
And how does acknowledging that difference impact the way we judge and value our own digital friendships and connections today? I'll leave that with you.